Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Parrish. There it is, Parrish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedist? You go to Brock. Need a roof? You call Parrish. ParrishBuilt.com. ParrishBuilt.com. I when I do that, I'm very much boom, boom, boom. Repping the brand today. Okay, y'all. Glad to have you aboard with us here. I hope everybody had a great and safe Memorial Day. So if you were here for Morning Scone yesterday, predicted that LSU was going to be the 2 seed in the Chapel Hill Regional, playing Wofford and paired with the Tucson Regional. Is it really a prediction if you already know the answer to the test? Anyway, obviously I love the draw. I think if you're LSU, I don't know that you could have gotten a better draw. And a lot of phone calls that I had yesterday. It's so interesting just how that committee works. The politics of who's on the committee, trying to get their team or their league represented. Florida getting in, state not being a regional host. It's just so interesting how all of the the back padding and handshakes and favors get done by that committee to put together a field and how it looks. But for LSU, it worked out. You have a very winnable game against Wofford. Presumably, you will advance to take on North Carolina in the marble game of the regional. North Carolina, I had a conversation yesterday with someone who compared North Carolina to Ole Miss. And it's just a real illustration of how much of a power league the SEC is, with the best players and coaches and talent and everything. Carolina, they've got 2 legit weekend starters in Jason DeCaro and Chase Brigg. Talk a little bit about each of those, and it'll be interesting to see who ultimately LSU is going to face. Apologies here. So you got to get past Wofford first, and we'll talk a little bit about Wofford, but how also North Carolina chooses to handle its pitching will be interesting to watch. So we're going to learn more about Wofford today. We'll have some people on the show today talk about Wofford. They can hit now. Wofford's team batting average is .340. I mean, they slug the ball. That's kind of their thing, right? So almost everybody in their starting 9 hits at least 300. And they've got 74 homers on the year. So not huge power numbers, but they do hit. So that's the thing that you're certainly going to look out for with Wofford is, you're going to throw a jump in that opener. I would almost guarantee it. Now their staff ERA is 5.75. Their ace is Zach Cohen, 3.55 ERA, 9-2 in 16 starts, 104 innings pitched, 118 strikeouts to just 28 walks. So that's their ace. That's who you're going to see on Friday. It's going to be Gage Jump against Zach Cowan from Wofford, and they hit the ball. So better go up there ready to play. But man, you win that first game, you advance to the marble game, and then if you manage to win that behind Jump and Holman, you put what I would presume would be North Carolina in a really, really tough spot. Same as LSU would be in a tough spot trying to come out of a loser's bracket. So, and then, man, the Tucson Regional, boy, Arizona got a really tough draw. I don't know if they win that regional. So with West Virginia and Dallas Baptist out there, that's a really tough draw for Arizona. Of course, if Arizona does win it and LSU advances out of Chapel Hill, LSU would go to Tucson. If LSU wins the Chapel Hill Regional and Arizona gets upset, LSU would host the Super Regional. I did confirm yesterday that LSU put in a regional bid. So just for those who don't know how that works, you have to put in a formal bid to even be considered for a regional host site. Now, we all knew LSU wasn't going to host, even though some of y'all try to convince yourself that it was a possibility. It was never a possibility that, well, considering how the season went, right? LSU was not going to host. But if there is an upset, to be able to host the Supers, you still have to have put in a regional bid. So, and for the Supers as well. So, LSU did submit a bid, and not everybody does. Like I told you all last year, Southern Miss outbid Tennessee. That's why that regional and that Super Regional ended up in Hattiesburg. After both Tennessee and I think Southern Miss maybe won the Tallahassee Regional, and Tennessee won the Clemson Regional, but the Supers ended up in Hattiesburg. So, but I do know LSU put in a bid. So if there is an upset, that if LSU wins and if Arizona does not come out of its regional, then LSU would host the Super Regional round. I can tell you that. So, okay, y'all, let's say some good mornings here, see what y'all got. We appreciate you for being there. Drew's out of school, so I'll likely just working from. I've got Drew here today, and I'm just working from home today, so we can go. Drew's still sleeping, so we can go a little longer if y'all want to. So if y'all got stuff, so fire away. Hey, Bill, good morning. Brian, good morning. Shane, Bart, Vaughn, good morning, y'all. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. James, what up? Jason, good morning. Jeff, good morning. Notice there's a possibility of having all SEC teams in Omaha. I guess that's always, well, it's not always a possibility, but I guess you get 11 teams in the field, yeah, depending on where they go. But they do their best to try to make sure they don't pair SEC teams in regionals. But of course, you could face each other in supers. Pat, good morning. Larry, Brett, so Tulane and Nichols can probably carpool to Corvallis. So I did hear that Sunday night as well, that Tulane and Nichols are both going to Corvallis. It's the funny thing is, like, there's all this perception that, oh, well, they're going to they'll try to keep your regional, or what they send both Tulane and Nichols to Corvallis. I'm going to tell you something about Nichols, y'all, which you may not know. Nichols has a pitcher who from Sanama. His name is spelled like Meyer, but it's not how he pronounces it. It's like Meyer, but that's not how he pronounces it. And if there it is, Jacob Mayers, but it's not pronounced Mayers, Mayers. Well, let me see that pronunciation guide. Somebody told me how to pronounce it, and I forgot. But anyway, from Sanama, and is one of those guys that just kind of, as his body kept growing, kept developing, kept throwing harder, and now he's like a dude. And if he ends up going to the portal, I don't know if he will, but if he ends up going to the portal, he's one of those guys that will be a highly sought after, like big time SEC type weekend guy. So someone watching may know how to pronounce his name if you're from Sanama, but the kid went to Sanama, again, went to Nichols. He's been at Nichols the last 2 years. This year he's got 105 strikeouts in, where's his innings pitch? 105 strikeouts and 69 in the third innings pitched. Now, the problem he's got 74 walks. So that's a bit of an issue, are the walks. But he's got some swing and miss to him now, and that could be trouble. Like that's and by the way, they made Nichols the 3 seed, Tulane's the 4 seed. But anyway, that could be trouble for Oregon State up there in Corvallis as well. Just file that away, keep an eye on it. That kid struck out there's like a dozen Alabama hitters last year. He had 12 against UNO, 10 against Southeastern, 10 against Lamar. I mean, anyway, just something worth filing away. Wendell Norman, Jay Borden, Charlie Cavell, good morning, y'all. Dalton, what's going on? Taylor, the rally was close. Jason, Matt Shuffle. Jason, I tried to, man, I played it the other day, but y'all all said it was over modulating, so I don't know what else to do, man. I'm going to reach out to the people who did my soundboard because maybe it's a hardware issue. I can't figure out what it is, but I'll try to play it again. I mean, y'all tell me if y'all can hear it. I'll just hold it away. I don't know. Was that any better? Y'all got to tell me. Was that any better? I mean, I turned it down, held it far away from the mic. I don't know if that worked. Could y'all hear that at all? Can't hear it. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, Jason, any word? Yeah, man, I've played it. That's it. I mean, I've got it. I've played it a few times, and for some reason, y'all can't hear it. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Michael Thacker, and any chance LSU pitches a Penn Day against Wofford? Zero chance. Look, Jay last year threw Paul Skeens against Tulane. If you think he's going up there against a Wofford team hitting 340 and is going to try to throw a bullpen day, no. Gage. It's also why I didn't throw Gage Jump in the final against Tennessee. Jump is going to pitch the first game. Holman's going to pitch the second game. I'd be fall over stunned if Jay did anything else. I mean, this is a guy who threw Paul Skeens against Tulane. So pitching off in a regional is not exactly something I think Jay Johnson is interested in doing. Tiger Diver, Rocky, what's going on? Scouting report on the Jack Russell Terriers. Just kind of went through it a little bit, man. We'll learn more about it, but they can hit almost everybody in their everyday lineup hits over 300. So pitching ain't awesome, but Marshall Toole hitting 383, Bryce Martinez 376, Dixon Black 368, Lucas Manning 367, Daniel Jackson 362, Jack Renwick 342, Tyler Hare 327. So 7 of their everyday players are all over 300. The other 2, David Wiley at 292, and Andrew Manley's at 291. So the only 2 guys under 300 are at 292 and 291. So they can hit, man. You look at Wofford, and Wofford's for those who don't know, it's from South Carolina. They are the Terriers. But you're going to need Gage Jump to be Gage Jump. Cajun Country, good morning. Glad to see LSU in a tougher regional. They make it out. The Supers are a lot more favorable. Yeah, Sean, it's one of the things we kind of talked about. Do you want the easier regional paired with? And look, I mean that's the other thing from LSU's benefit is you didn't get paired with an SEC regional. So if you do win, you're not on the road you're not in Knoxville or Fayetteville or College Station or Lexington. You go to Chapel Hill, and if you win that, if you have to travel, you're in Tucson. I mean, Brett, R.I.P. Bill Walton. Never saw him play. Loved him as a commentator. Yeah, man. That came as a surprise. I didn't realize Bill Walton was only 71. Also didn't know he had a long cancer battle. So definitely. Swafford Good went through that a little bit. Hey, NPH. Good morning. That is Miss Heron, who was my freshman and sophomore year English teacher. And as she will still to this day tell you, I survived. As much as I might complain about it, she's, oh, you survived. I did. I survived. Jeff Whitley, if we're having a ghost in the machine while building a roof, you would be double perishing. So we're talking about Parish Brewery. Now, we have discussed chatting with our friends over at Parish Brewing about doing a Parish construction roofing beer. So maybe they might be down for something. I'd be down for it. Randall, this was the best draw possible for LSU. No SEC team until Omaha. Jen Gary, good morning. I live in Raleigh, Chapel Hill. It's an amazing town. Any of you guys going to be live from the games? I don't think so, Jen. I hate to say that, but typically if we're going to travel, it's not going to be till Omaha. So unless there was a proximity deal, but with the short turnaround and for what it costs to go, we got to have lead time to sell it and all. So typically we just wait for Omaha is where we travel and do shows. So, but I hope a lot of LSU fans go up there, man. I don't know that LSU's ever played baseball in Chapel Hill. I could look it up. I will look it up, but I'd not in my lifetime, not that I recall LSU's ever played there. So I know they played North Carolina, of course, played North Carolina in the College World Series. One of the more disappointing outcomes from a great LSU team that lost its opener there. But also played North Carolina in 08, if I'm not mistaken. So that great LSU team that rattled off 23 in a row ended up walking off Rice, I believe, in their opener of the College World Series, and then got eliminated by North Carolina eventually. Kelly Gross, Bradley, and Graffia. Good morning, Matt. Wondering if LSU wins a regional, Arizona loses, what LSU is. Yes, so I just went through that a bit ago for those that missed it. LSU did put in a bid to host, and so if there is an upset, if LSU wins the Chapel Hill Regional and there's an upset in Tucson, LSU would host the Super Regional, yes. Spurge, good morning. Rocky, RP, Bill Walton, yeah. One of the most underrated big men ever play basketball. I don't know that he's underrated, man. Well, not in the college game. He's not underrated. I mean, he was a 3-time National Player of the Year. But injuries certainly limited his professional career. Yeah. Let's see. Jacob, what's going on, man? Wacky Chris, good morning. Happy to see LSU not get shipped off to the West Coast. Hoping for a regional and for the Cards to fall correctly to have supers at the box. I mean, the Cards need to fall, or LSU needs to win, and you need to have an upset in Tucson. So, best case scenario for LSU is they host a super. Worst case is you lose the regional. But if you advance, the worst case is you go to Tucson and you get to play against Jay's former squad in a very favorable matchup for LSU. But first things first. Jeff, good morning. Brad David, good morning. Pat Houston, Matt, did I read your tweet? Hey, Twitter world, correctly. If Arizona loses their regional, LSU has a shot at host. Yeah, they would. They absolutely would host. If LSU advances and Arizona loses, LSU would host the Super. The 2 seed there is West Virginia. The 3 seeds Dallas Baptist. LSU would host the Super if one of those teams upset Arizona. Randall, we should definitely pitch off against Wofford, save Jump and Holman. Not happening. I mean, it doesn't matter what you think they should do. That's going to be Jay Johnson's call. And again, I last year watched Jay Johnson throw Paul Skeens against Tulane. If you think a Wofford team that hits 340 as a team, if you think Jay Johnson is going to go in there without the utmost respect for their ability to hit, I think you're crazy. So regardless of what you or I think they should do, in a 2-3 matchup, it would be different if you were in a 1 versus 4 matchup at home and the 4 seed was Grambling. It was like one of the lower, lowest seeds in the field. Okay, then I could absolutely entertain the case. In a 2-3 matchup, no, sir. Let's see. All right. Also, I'm not sure if y'all saw this as well, but the game against Wofford is an 11 a.m. Central Time first pitch. So LSU will be right at the beginning of the day. I, for one, am thrilled about that because that means the game will be over or just about over by the time AFR starts. So we get to be a de facto postgame show. And that's way better than trying to host a show while LSU is playing regional baseball, which I have done in the past. And that is no fun. So 11 a.m. against Wofford on Friday. Timothy Fontenot, Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Good day for Louisiana baseball teams. 6 teams that are record. I don't know. I don't know what the record is, but definitely great day. Congrats to Tech, obviously. Tulane winning the American. The Cajuns are in. LSU, Nichols, Grambling. Yeah, great time for baseball in the state for sure. Brian Penton, good morning. Mechanicsville, New York. Hey, Mark, good morning. You're Fonsead Gamoggan. How did Tennessee get Southern Miss in the same regional? That will be a dogfight. I mean, everybody's got to go somewhere, Mark. I don't know. Quentin Breakbill, Abner Neal, what up? Hunter Eilers, morning, Scone. Any thoughts on the new assistant coach LSU men's hired? I'm assuming you're talking about David Patrick, and that was middle of last week. And David Patrick was here once before, if you don't remember. David Patrick, he was born in the Bahamas, lived in Australia. He came to Baton Rouge and finished high school at Chapel Trafton, which is now Dunham. He's coached at Nichols, but he's sort of, I guess he's most known for his time at St. Mary's when he recruited Australia. So like Patty Mills and all those guys that went to St. Mary's, that was all David Patrick getting that pipeline from Australia to St. Mary's. And then, of course, he's the one who had the relationship with Ben Simmons. If I remember correctly, he's Ben Simmons' godfather. And so David Patrick is the one that got Ben Simmons to Baton Rouge. And it was that great recruiting class that had Ben Simmons and Antonio Blakeney and Brandon Sampson. So he is an unmistakable recruiter. Spent some time at Arkansas under Musselman as well. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if there's one, I don't want to say knock, but question that people have about McMahon, it's his ability to recruit top tier talent. Well, if that's a weakness in your skill set, then go hire one of the best recruiters in the country. And that's what they did with David Patrick. So, yes, like it a lot. Rick Kelly, Matt, the UNC right power alley is only 355. Does Jay load up with left-handed bats? Well, the one you would certainly think that they would maybe put in the lineup would be Jake Brown in center, and it seems like he kind of started leaning that way anyway. I would think if they want a right-handed bat, they'd go Bingham. If they want the left-handed bat, they'd go Jake Brown. But, I mean, the only other thing you could possibly do is catch Brady Neal to get another left-hand bat in the lineup and bench Milazzo. I just don't think they're going to do that at this point. Mark went rapid fire. Celtics sweep Pacers. Yes, they did. Is Doncic the real deal? Yes. John Emery to UCLA. Saw that. Hope he does awesome. Remember, John Emery did not get to play in that game at the Rose Bowl. He was suspended. Glenn Laurie, good morning, Matt. Louisiana well represented. Congrats to all the teams. Taylor Hudson, good morning. Sent you a text asking if you send a couple of white Parrish hats my way. Did you get it? I'll check. So that just understand, please, that the text line is long and flooded, and I get a lot of there. But I'll make my way through it and I'll check. I would love to get everybody a hat that would love a Parrish hat. Just very candidly, the cost to ship hats to everybody might get a little steep. But Taylor, if you're in the area, it'd be awesome. If you want to come on by, I don't know where you live, but if you want to come on by, you can always come by the office. I'm glad to sling some hats. We're going to try to do a hat party this weekend. So we need to see what the that's not a no, by the way. We just need to see what the we need to see what the scenarios are. Like if LSU wins Hang on. I'm trying to see what the times would be. Um, uh, it just has the first two games. I wonder if they're going to wait and see who the winners are, what time it advances. It seems like they would already have that done. Hmm. So North Carolina and Long Island are going to play at 5 o'clock Central, but it doesn't say the next day. Anyway, I don't know if somebody knows I'm missing. Let me know. But I would love to know what time. Like if LSU does advance to the Marble game on Saturday, what time that game would be. Well, it wouldn't matter for Saturday either way because we have the UFC fights on Saturday night at L'Auberge. Brandon Tilley, what's good, man? Renovation Day Carriage House. All right. Hard work, new look for the workplace, my future. Love it, man. That's great. Y'all go see Brandon over at Carriage House in Lafayette if you're in the area. Great spot. It was nice to meet Brandon at the tap room a few weeks back when we were there. Please smash the like button there on YouTube. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all. Bubba, B, good morning. Brent, what's up? Chevis, good morning. David, who did Brian Kelly pick up in the portal? Did I miss a portal? I'll be very real with y'all. After 11 a.m. yesterday, Louisiana Tech punter Blake Ossendorf. Okay. Look, they were after a punter. I can't tell you know much about him, but they were so on Memorial Day. They got the led Cuse in punting last year. Okay, top 20 in the country. Brian Kelly came out of spring saying they needed a punter. So, I mean, after the spring game, saying they wished that Peyton Todd had been a little more consistent and had locked down that job, but didn't. So, Charlie Mayers is legit. I think I'm mispronouncing his name though. John Cunningham, your coach Johnson. Who do we start against Wofford? Gauge jump. I mean, listen. Here's the thing about this LSU team. You don't have the luxury of falling into the losers bracket. As excited as we all are about the way some of the bullpen arms have come on of late, and we can be excited about watching LSU win 4 games in 5 days there in Hoover. The other thing that I'm going to remind you, and I said it all throughout Hoover, LSU didn't face a weekend arm. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then again on Saturday, you faced bullpen days. So I'm not trying to delegitimize the run LSU went on. It's very impressive, and I'm pumped for it. But Georgia threw a bullpen day, and Kentucky threw a bullpen day, South Carolina, like you kept seeing bullpen days. So the offense got going, and that's awesome. But you're going to face a Friday night guy from Wofford. You're going to face their best guy. So and it's a team that hits 340. Like you better respect that offense. So, I mean, Zach, I told you before, Zach Cowan is their ace. That's who you're going to see on Friday. He's got a 3.55 ERA in 104 innings pitched this season. He's got 118 strikeouts and just 28 walks. So you're not taking a chance there. Again, you can, if it was a 1-4 matchup, I would not have as much of an issue pitching off. Like last year against Tulane, I would have absolutely pitched off. I would not have thrown Skeens against Tulane. But Jay threw Paul Skeens against Tulane, and he's not pitching off against Wofford. I would be stunned if he did. So you're going to see, and it's also why they didn't throw Jump on Sunday against Tennessee when they could have, even just if they wanted to do exactly with Jump what they did with Ackenhausen, go through the lineup once. But so you're going to see Jump against Wofford, and then you're going to see Holman against in Saturday, what we hope is the Marble game. Chad, did I read correctly? 6 Louisiana teams. Yes. LSU, Tulane, Lafayette, Nichols, Tech, and Grambling. B, who will be the second team out of all Louisiana teams to make it far into the tournament? Well, nobody's hosting, so someone would have to go pull an upset somewhere. Um, I think Nichols has a chance to win a game up there, man. Um, all right, Ron. Good morning. Any news with Little? I didn't hear an update on Christian Little. Jay Johnson said after the game on Sunday that it was a lat issue with Little, so thankfully not an arm thing. It feels like with a week, 5 days to rest and get ready, that maybe he'd be ready to go, but we'll see how the week goes. Trivia Carter, good morning. Wacky Chris, Matt, do you or have you noticed the marked difference in approach to SEC tournament between Jay and Pulmonary? Not really. Maybe the only thing is last year, the game against LSU had a national seed locked up already, and the game against Arkansas, Skeens went out there and I think just threw like 40 or 50 pitches. They didn't really extend his outing. That might be the only thing, but not really, man. I mean, I think Paul's teams went out there to win it, and I think Jay knew he had to go win games. Despite, and he said it now, and despite his insistence that they were in, I think he told Chris Budden on the broadcast, I might have lied to him and insisted that they were already in, but wasn't exactly sure. That's why they went through Gage Jump, and Luke Holman. I mean, while other teams were throwing bullpen days, they knew they had to go win a game to feel good, 2 games to completely lock it down all the way, and they did that. So, I think it's been similar. Jacob, give some takes. Charlie, interesting to see if Nichols can keep Silva, who's done a masterful job in his time in Thibodeau. Armani Hayes, do you use Nate against Wofford? Nope. You're not. I'm telling y'all, they're not pitching off. David Bass, if they get out of the regional, I like our chances. The Super go Tigers. I agree with you, David. Even if LSU travels to Tucson to face Arizona, I like LSU there. And if LSU hosts in the Supers round against West Virginia or Dallas Baptist, I like LSU, of course, at home there. So I do like LSU's chances if they get out of this regional to go to Omaha. It's wild to say, huh? Glenn, what's the latest on the match? So Musso and the young lady went out last weekend, and then she went on vacation this week. But Musso told us on Friday that they had been texting and still in touch. So I think when she gets back, they'll go out again. So I'm hopeful for her, man. It'd be great. Trivia, remember, I need 2 hats, one side and one for the golf course. Got it. Aaron, good morning. John, Millie Vanilli lip sync job. Ashton, is that against a week conference? I mean, it's not easy to hit 300 in any conference. Exactly, Ashton. So, you could say, okay, well, they hit 340 in that league. Okay, who else in that league hit 340? Who in any league hit 340? You know what I mean? It's still hard to hit the baseball and do so consistently up and down a lineup. If you want to look at, schedule, I'm looking for Power 5 opponents. Let's see, they lost to Georgia on a Tuesday, 18-8. So they got run ruled by Georgia. And that might be the only Power 5 they played. I'm looking. Yeah, it looks like Georgia. Yeah, Georgia's the only Power 5 they played in the non-conference, and they lost 18-8. So overall, they're 41-18. They were 12-8 in the league. And I mean, I guess my point is, y'all, this is a really, really favorable draw. They won their conference tournament. So congrats, for winning the SoCon. But again, I can't. This is a great draw for LSU. I just cannot see Jay Johnson pitching off. Juan was Louisiana State with the most teams. I don't know, Juan. I'd have to check Florida. Florida State got in. Florida got in, obviously. I'd have to look at that, but and then Texas. You always look at. Texas, A&M, Dallas Baptist. You look up and down the field. Texas probably another. So I don't know. Bart heard that pitcher's name was Mayer. Is that it? Mayers. I think that's it. That's probably right. We're talking about the pitcher from Nichols, who's from Santa Monica. It's spelled like Mayers, but it might be Mayer or Meyer. Maybe Meyer is how it's pronounced. Anyway, or maybe it's spelled Myers, but it's pronounced Mayers. Anyway, whatever. I don't. The kid's a good pitcher, and if he goes to the portal, he'll be sought after by a lot of teams. Let's see, Glenn. Who controls game times for the regionals? This 11 a.m. game Fridays forced me to watch game. The networks are going to piece all that together when they want certain games at what times. Let's see. Thought Nichols and Tulane playing a closer regional. I just think it's hilarious that Tulane's the 4. Mr. Wallace, what's going on? Glenn, all right, answered that one. Christian, they were just talking about an OTB, first time LSU has ever played in an East Coast regional. It's just seldom that LSU ever travels for a regional. During the days of the old 6-team regionals, LSU hosted, felt like every year. Of course, they did back in 89 go to College Station. The times they've traveled in this current format, they've obviously traveled for supers. In 99 they went to Bama. 01 they were in New Orleans against Tulane. 02 they went to Rice. Let's see, 3 and 4. 3 they were home against Baylor. 04 they were home against A&M. 8 they were home. 9 they were home. 10 they went to UCLA. 11 they didn't make postseason. 12 they were home. 13 home. 14 they lost to home regional Houston. 15 they were home. 16 they were home. Is that when they lost to Baylor? I think 2016 when they were home and lost to Baylor. 17 they were home. 18 they went to Corvallis. 19 they were home, and then obviously got lucky and Florida State played the Supers here but beat LSU. 20 there was no postseason. 21 they won the Eugene Regional and then lost the Knoxville Supers. 22 they lost at Hattiesburg, and last year of course they were home. Let's see. Oh, 16 was Coastal. That's what it was. 16 was Coastal. They were home in 16 and lost to Coastal. Or Coastal went on to win the national championship, of course. Kevin, live about an hour and a half from Chapel Hill. Awesome. Oh, they're price gouging. You probably always walk up and buy tickets from somebody holding a few in the air. Trey Potan, what's good? Michael Cook, what's going on? Duval, every ACC host got paired with an SEC team as the 2 seed. Will be fun to see how that plays out. I think the ACC historically has been a good league. I think this year the ACC, as I understand it, was not a very good league. So I think the SEC teams will probably do well. Let's see. My wife was reading off regional brackets. She mentioned Tucson. Yeah. Let's see. Glenn, Matt, the Stephen Milan surpassed Morris's homer against Miami. No, come on, bro. What? Are you kidding me? Glenn, you can't be seriously asking that question like a legit question. I mean, Tommy White hit a walk-off homer last year in Omaha to send LSU to the championship series. I mean, we've seen walk-off homers before at LSU and walk-off homers in the postseason, but Morris is literally the greatest moment in the history of college baseball. No, Stephen Milam hitting a walk-off homer in the SEC tournament semifinal does not even approach Warren Morris. No. Glenn, no. Silly Glenn. Bart, crazy to see how many people have no clue about baseball, but always want to interject in something they have no clue about. Wow. Not sure what that's about, but okay. Matt, do you think Mississippi State got hosted? Yes. I think if LSU were Mississippi State and were a 17-win SEC team with a top 30 RPI and didn't host, I think we would be crying foul and screaming bloody murder. Yes, I think Mississippi State got absolutely hosed. Armani, who else are you confident about on the mound to give 5 innings outside of Jump, Holman, or Nate? Herring, if you needed to. But, I think if you win your first 2, depending on, ideally, LSU throws Jump and he does exactly what you did against Missouri. He gives you 7 innings, shuts them down. You're up 10, and you get the last 6 outs with anybody, Helmers, whoever, to get you those last 6 outs. So you preserve Herring, Ackenhausen, Little, Guidry for the marble game, and then potentially win the regional. All right, Richard Horner, what's going on? Will Helmer's got more time after his performance in that Tennessee game. Again, like the Tennessee game, like the thing about Helmers is, Helmers is going to throw strikes. It's just that you don't know where the ball is going to land after people hit it. He gave you a couple of innings against Tennessee, and that was great to see, but it was also a thing where it was very clear Jay's strategy going in was he was not going to extend anybody that he was going to potentially need on Friday. So that's why you saw the parade of relievers that you did. Jeff, what's good, my dude? Hope all's well, man. Joe, good morning. Who'd you pitch first game? You're not saving Jump. You're throwing Jump against Wofford. You're going Jump Holman. And look, when you were 3-12 in the league, Holman was the only pitcher that won games for you. So I have no problem whatsoever throwing Holman against North Carolina. And I understand pitching off, and I shouted to the heavens about it last year. Like throwing Paul Skeens against Tulane, I thought was one of the most careless decisions that I've seen a coach make. Just candidly. Throwing Paul Skeens against Tulane last year was careless. And it almost cost you. But it all worked out, and so we're never going to talk about it again because it worked out. But in this situation, in a 2-3 matchup against a team that hits 340, like one surefire way to know you're not winning this regional is if you lose your opening game. So you're going to throw Gage Jump, and then you're going to have Holman for the marble game. And if you win those first 2, then someone has to go win an elimination game and come back and beat you twice. And I don't think anybody in this regional has the pitching to do that. So win your first 2 games, sit back, wait, and then treat game 3 as an Ackenhausen, Herring, Ulloa, Guidry bullpen type day. Deltona, am I irrationally high on Caleb Jackson? I know he needs to improve in protection. I think he's top 5 in the country, pure rushing ability. Yeah, no, I think he runs with speed and power. I think he's had big playability in a limited sample size. I think one of the reasons that John Emery isn't here anymore and that you had the exodus in the room is because there is a lot of expectation around Caleb Jackson this year. I think I'm excited to see what he looks like if he gets 200 carries this season. Randall, what's the ceiling for this LSU team? The ceiling is go win the national championship. Again, I know that sounds absurd, but this is baseball. This is a game. You have to get in the field. And I've laid this out a million times, and it's why whenever they're 3-12 in the league and everyone's going, this is a must win, I'm like, you have to be measured with your temperament in baseball. We talk about it every year, and it just never seems to sink in. Can this LSU team win the national championship? Absolutely. Do I think they will? I do not. What's their ceiling is go win the national championship, because the way that you map it out, can LSU go win this regional with jump against Wofford, Holman presumably against North Carolina, then somebody else coming out of a loser's bracket and has to beat you twice? Like, can you advance? Absolutely. If you do, can you go to Tucson and win 2 out of 3? Yes. Or if you play at home, is LSU favored in a super regional at home against West Virginia or Dallas Baptist? Yes. You win 2 out of 3 at the box, you go to Omaha. You go to Omaha and you throw gauge jump game 1. Can you win that? Yes. You're in a winner's bracket game with Luke Coleman. Can you win that? Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, Ole Miss did this 2 years ago. They had 2 pitchers. They were a I should say awful, but they were a team that struggled all year. They got hot late. They got into the field due to a lot of politics, but they rode Dylan DeLucia and Hunter Elliott all the way to a national championship. So what's the ceiling? Win the national championship. Again, I'm not telling you that's likely. I'm not telling you I'm predicting that to happen. I'm just telling you, yes, that's the ceiling. What do I think is likely? I think LSU gets to Omaha. I think they're going to go win the Chapel Hill Regional, and I think they'll win a super. And once they get to Omaha, I think they probably win a game there and bow out. Tim Forche, Laura Efferson, Caleb Clark, North Carolina. I love it, Sonny. That's good. Caleb Falk coming in late. Comparison North Carolina to Ole Miss seems like good odds for LSU considering the sweep. Yeah, I mean, and for those that missed it, said at the beginning of the show, I asked one of my scout buddies yesterday about North Carolina. He said they're comparable to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss didn't even make the SEC tournament. Now that may be undervaluing North Carolina a bit, but just I think he's more meant like on the talent level, it's similar to that. So feels like this is a very winnable regional for LSU. Patrick, what's good? Charlie, Tulane and Nichols are sharing a charter flight. That's good. That's really good. The only thing is if one team advances and the other doesn't, if a team gets eliminated, they have to sit and wait around for the other team to finish playing. Toki Doki. Okay. Rick, what's going on? Louisiana got 6 teams. North Carolina got 6. Okay. South Carolina got 5. Okay. Thank you for the heads up on that. What about Florida? I'm curious about Florida and Texas. Cortland, good morning. Yeah. Again, more. Yeah. No doubt. Well, that's not true because Joe Carter walked off the World Series in '93 against the Phillies. So Warren Morris and Joe Carter. Let's see. Matt, do you think LSU would host over Dallas Baptist if it shakes that way? Yes. And I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, West Virginia was the 2 there and Dallas Baptist was the 3. But yes, I've mentioned it. I'll continue to say it. I put it on Twitter last night. LSU did submit a host bid. So if LSU does advance and somebody upsets Arizona, LSU will host the super regional round. Hey, Dylan, good morning. Drew's still asleep, but I'll tell him when he wakes up. Thank you. Tommy, Cortland, Wofford scores 10 runs a game. Don't mess around. Bingo. Angel Hernandez finally leaving baseball. Saw that. Angel Hernandez retiring. Gunner, morning, Matt, got engaged the same night, I guess, last year, same night at Tommy walk off in Omaha, watch the series in Charleston. Getting married Saturday, plan on watching the series from Maui. Go ahead, man. That a babe, Gunner. Enjoy, man. Good luck to you and the future misses, man. Hope you'll have a great wedding week. Let's see, baseball, you also always have a pitcher's chance, just like fighters have a puncher's chance. Rick, good morning. Prods up 96. Morning, Matt. See a challenging regional site. Not easy, but winnable. All right. LSU's won 9 of 12. Getting to Omaha is doable. Absolutely. Mark, Louisiana focus. Remember when Matt said 11 SEC teams weren't getting in? Yeah, I didn't think Florida would get in for sure. Randall, I was surprised how far. Hey, also, you remember when Matt yesterday said that LSU was going to play Wofford in the Chapel Hill Regional and be paired with Arizona? Remember that? I don't know why you're here. I don't understand people sometimes. They keep coming back, I guess. Brent, as a Phillies fan, why did you have to bring up Joe Carter? Well, just point of clarification, right? Glenn, I don't take any team for granted in regionals. Coastal still hurts. Yeah. DBU is the two. They were the potential host site. Okay. All right, y'all. I think we're done. Please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. As always, shout out to Brock. We appreciate Brock, if you need an orthopedist. They're the best. Remember Brock over there in Tangipo, the Hammond location. And Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need a roof, we'd love to help you out. I got Parish pinned in the YouTube chat. So we'll give you that free, no obligation roofing inspection. You could just click the form, fill it out, or you can always call us. Same phone number. 364-1007, 364-1007, or go to parishbuilt.com. Okay, y'all, have an awesome day, and go Tigers. Looking forward to a fun rest of the week, man. Getting set for regional baseball, 11 a.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. Central on Friday. We're looking forward to it. Okay, y'all have an awesome day.